How you all doing? Welcome to the Sunday Swingers Show. Hope you're all doing well. It is the 12th of the 1st, the 12th of January already. So this is a new show here from Pro Traders Lounge. We're going to run it every Sunday. So this will be just a kind of brief one this week. Just to give an introduction, give an idea of what to expect to go forward. But this will be the new show we're going to run every Sunday going forward. So as you can see on my over here to the right hand side of your screen, it's just a rundown of how the show is going to go. So every single week at 6 p.m. UK time, we can expect this. As we start off, we're going to take it slowly for week one, and we're going to build on it as we go along. So each week we're going to cover basically what's hot, what's not, for the week. So as you can see beside me, I have MicroStrategy in on the running list for today, because there's been some interesting stuff out about MicroStrategy in the last couple of days, and I think it's something that we need to look at, especially anybody that's covering Bitcoin, trading Bitcoin. That is very, very relevant to Bitcoin. So the other thing that we're going to look at is each week we're going to do some charting. So why not throw it in on MicroStrategy this week, and I'll run through what I'll be looking for in terms of why we're going to implement it into our week ahead, especially for Bitcoin. So also we're going to have alt of the week, as you can see here to my right. That's going to be by Trader R. He's going to cover an alt for you, and each week that we go through this, we're going to cover an alt. We're going to find a setup each week for you, free on YouTube, and yeah, we'll review it the following week and see how it goes. So as I said, this week will be a quiet one. It's going to be a short one. It's going to be concise, and then we'll build on it from there. So as you can see as well, over here you've got some of them in green. The list in green is what we're going to be covering today publicly. And then everything that you have in grey, so you have gold and indices, you have altcoins and meme coins, and you have Bitcoin. Each one of them we're going to be covering within the dashboard for our members inside on ProTradersLounge.com, where we're going to be looking for swing trades for the week for altcoins, meme coins, Bitcoin, and we are going to be also looking for trade setups on gold and indices. So this week you're going to have myself looking for trade setups which on gold predominantly this week, which is great for anybody trading funded accounts. We're going to have that followed up by Netso Kronos on altcoins. He's going to be running over some intra-week swings for the week ahead. And then we have the one and only Mr. Michael when sailing, covering Bitcoin for this week. So we're going to get our swing trades ready for the week, and that's what to expect inside in the dashboard at ProTradersLounge.com. Now, if you do want to join up and you want to catch the end of that show, all you got to do is head on over to ProTradersLounge.com, where you can sign up for a membership where we have crazy amount of stuff going on each week. We also have stuff going on with the live academy. Our academy section is more based on education. So we've got our educational streams each week where based on Bitcoin, gold and indexes, and then we have each week, you can see last week we had Atis Part 3 wave clusters with when sailing. So there's a lot going on over here. That's why we're bringing some of it to the public, and we are going to start this show off. So yeah, it's going to be ropey at the beginning as we try to make our way through it. So yeah, this show is going to run for approximately 2 hours each week, having the first half of the show for the public, for all of you, the public, and then we are going to move it on into our dashboard. So that is that. So yeah, if there's any questions, do leave us know down in the comment section. This will be here on YouTube. We'll also be posting it on X, so give us a like. Let us know in the comments. Is there anything that you want us to look for next week? Is there anything that you want us to cover next week? Is there any questions you have about Pro Traders Lounge in itself? So yeah, this is going to be us every single Sunday going forward. What I'm looking forward to, it's going to be something new. It's going to be something interesting. As I said, we're going to build on it each week. We're going to have special guests. We're going to have giveaways. This is only going to be the start of it. So yeah, bear with us. As I said, bear with us. So I'm going to go down now that we've kind of given you the run through of what this is, what to expect. As I said, this week is going to be fairly quiet and short, just to give you, get us into the rhythm of it, and then we'll build on it as we go on. So we've given the rundown on the new weekly show, and now let's just get into the bones of it now and talk about MicroStrategy, because there's something interesting going on with MicroStrategy at the minute, which is something that I want to cover. As I said, anyone trading Bitcoin, this is fairly relevant. So I have the notes here. So MicroStrategy sets to vote on the 21st of January to offer 10 billion shares to buy more Bitcoin. And if anybody knows how MicroStrategy works, I don't want to say it's like a Ponzi scheme, but it's like a Ponzi scheme. How, it offers stocks to borrow against investors. It's 0% interest. It's like nearly like a carousel for all the world on how it works. So an interesting one, because if this gets approved for MicroStrategy and it gets voted in, that's fairly bullish, especially the fact that they're looking for 10 billion or to offer 10 billion. And to put that into perspective, if we look at what MicroStrategy have been doing over December, you can clearly see with the amount of Bitcoin they've been buying has been decreasing over the month of December and into January. So like we have December the 9th, 2.1 billion. December the 10th, 1.5 billion. So just a bit of a drop there. On the 23rd of December, they bought in 561 million worth of Bitcoin. On December the 30th, 209 million. And then on to January the 6th, where they bought 101 million. So there's a vote set in here for MicroStrategy to look for 10 billion for more Bitcoin. So that will be nearly 5 times the amount that they bought at the start of January. Could be bullish for Bitcoin, could be bearish, depending if it gets approved or not. You can see that there's, like I said, there's a steady decrease in what they're buying. So, as traders, we don't only look at the news, handy to know, interesting to know, but we look at the charts as well. So we're gonna go over to MicroStrategy now and break it down, because MicroStrategy is at a very, very, very interesting level in terms of, if we just zoom out and we're here up on the weekly chart, you can see that MicroStrategy, I put in that low in 2002 and it has been steadily climbing its way up since, with that big bullish move since 2022, where it's just not stopped since. One thing to note when we're looking at it here is that it has come up to that, that is how many years ago now? 25 years ago. It's come up and breached the 25-year high. If we mark this in, it has come up and breached that 25-year high. Let's write that in. 25. 25-year high. I think anyone who's trading Bitcoin should have MicroStrategy, Coinbase, and obviously watching the dollar as well is very important if you are trading them, to know where they are, because there's a lot of Bitcoin being held by MicroStrategy. So what we want to look at is we want to come down onto a lower time frame and see what's going on. We can see as it breached up above that 25-year high, we made our way up. Back test, we didn't do anything really with that back test. Dropped down, we got a little bit of a bounce, and here we are. We're after breaking local highs here, coming back. Hasn't held that 25-year high, but with a level so big and so far back, you don't expect these bounces to be as precise to the dollar or anything like that. Every time it revisited, they can wash. You can see it. You see it on Bitcoin when it broke that high. It washed about for a good bit as well. So, interesting place here for MicroStrategy. So I'm going to have a quick look at where we're going to look at with this in terms of levels for the week ahead, and especially with that news coming in under 10 days. So first thing I'll note is, if we're on the daily chart here, we want to look at this impulse here from this low here that we put in on the 5th of September all the way up to when we put in that high. So what we want to look at is the retracement level there of that 382. So if we get a bounce at that 382 level, that's a bullish area to look for a bounce. Is it going to hold? Is it not? I'm also going to show you a level that I look for outside of that 382. We look for that bullish continuation when it taps the 382. But what I'm finding with recent markets is there is a level underneath that, and that's the 425 to look at as well. Kind of like your golden pocket in a way that, you usually get the tap off the 618 and it comes back then to the 65, I think about 80% of the time. So we can see here we did indeed get that bounce off the 382. We got a bit of a rally, broke some local highs, and then back down again. So as I said, in recent markets, this 425 is being tapped. It's kind of like a sequence that we're seeing all the time, where it comes down, taps that 382, gets a bit of a bounce, takes out that low, and then go heads on again. So with watching these fib retracement levels, I would not be surprised if we did get something like that. So I wouldn't rule out anything. Just because it bounced on the 382 for me, before I would have said, that's bullish, that's it, she's going to keep moving from here. But you see, go back and back test on some of the bigger assets, especially on Bitcoin. You can see that it's tapping that 425 a lot as well. So also what we have here is a volume gap sitting right in there as well. Mark that out. I'm going to take that 25-year high out of it. We know it's there. Okay, we could even pull it down here. That's a nice... that is the low, really. Technically, that is the low. I like going from the impulse, but you know what? Just for how perfect that bounce was, let's leave it like that. Okay. Try to keep this as clean as we can. I want to take a fixed range and run it on that impulse, and we can see we got that nice bounce off the value area high. Nice bounce. As I said, took out some highs, and we don't know yet. Let's get some more data on it. So what we're going to look for is a level below, and also that's a nice high volume node on that golden pocket, which will be a flip of that previous high before it left that range. So what I'm looking at now is the session volume. So basically our daily naked points of control. Let's mark them in. Nice daily naked point of control down here. Naked point of control to the upside. Let's turn that off. Okay. What we need to look for now is, yeah, this could just play the range again. In fairness, it's after getting a nice bounce, 382. It's come back up, took out some highs. Is it going to hold this value area low? If it does hold that value area low, if you look at a deviation like this, you know, there's an 85% chance that if it holds that against that deviation like that, you know, there's an 80 to 85% chance of coming back up to that range high. You have to remember that. See what the volume was like at that low. Not much volume at that low, so I would have liked to see a whole lot more going on when it came down to that low. But when you see a gap like this, let's move up here. When you see a gap in volume on when you're looking at stocks, you know, usually that first reaction, it does get a bounce, and then we'll see if it gets back into that gap to fill it. But you usually do get that bounce, so you know, relevant place to get a bounce, but not a lot of volume down there. Not a lot of volume. Have a look at extended hours. Not even on extended hours was there a lot of volume. So I'm going to take that out. And why I'm taking that one out is because that naked point of control there, as I said, when you have that deviation here, 85% chance of that coming back up to the value area high for a full range rotation. So that one in the middle, a nice place to look for a scalp, but we can always just use that as a liquidity grab there. Okay. See what else we have going on here. So we have a nice TR pocket coming in on that 425 plus the naked point, or yeah, the naked point of control. Okay. So this is starting to look like a really nice zone so far. Nice low volume node in there. Aha. Look at that. Really, really nice value area high. Sitting on the TR pocket. Sitting below where we just got a bounce. Which will be a fill of that gap. Which is really, really interesting to the downside. Let's check pivots. Nothing in terms of pivots. No. I'm really liking that level. For anyone who's been trading this, like, it's been really, really nice to short over the last while, especially since it breached that 25-year high. So I'm liking that zone down here. As soon as we pull that as soon as you take that liquidity, let's take out that 382. As soon as you take that liquidity of that previous low, like, there's really, really nice levels down here. So if it does come down, we get some, you know, if it's bearish price action over the next while and it comes into that area, what did we say? On the 21st, we're going to be looking for a vote. You know, if we get bearish news based off the back of this that then flips bullish or whatever it may be, but if we get something to drive price down here to get people, you know, a little bit wiped, be looking in here for a trade. I would take it on the higher low of the local price action, but a really, really nice place to look for a trade down there if it does keep dropping. So that's to the downside. Let's look to the upside. Well, if we look inside that we're holding inside this range, so there's that potential of coming up and doing a full rotation here. So to the upside, I would look for simply 2 levels, taking it level by level. If it does go up, of course we could get a nice little scalp taking out that liquidity there, but we want to be taking more probable trades than that. So up here, that value area high, and then again, if we breach that, I would still look up into this level up here for a trade also. Again, scalps, and if we start to lose levels, then we can start to add on to it. But I think that could be a really, really, 2 really nice levels to look for trades. If we start to lose that level, if we start to lose that 266 level, you know, it's a long way down before we come back into, you know, a point of control, a previous SR level. There's a good drop down in terms of percentage. You know, that's a good 37% drop to the downside. So that level will be defended, or should be defended. So interesting, keeping on your charts. If you're trading Bitcoin, make sure to keep an eye on MicroStrategy. Even just set your alerts if you're not trading it, because if you've Bitcoin coming into a level of support along with MicroStrategy coming into a level of support, this could be really interesting. So that paired up then with, let's see, do we have an anchored VWAP, so some extra volume support. We bounced on it already. That's of no use to us. That's coming in at that point of control, and that one in a little bit lower, so not really. How's overall volume up here? It's tapering off altogether since we got up above that 25-year high. Tapered off altogether. This could offer really nice day trades on these levels. I won't go into it anymore, but if you do have any questions, please do let me know in the comments. These are the levels I'm going to be looking for locally for a trade setup. So yeah, that is MicroStrategy. As I said, loads of reasons to look for these levels on MicroStrategy. Loads of interesting news coming up on it, and yeah, the 21st of January. So that's MicroStrategy out of the way, and obviously we have the couple of bits and pieces of the new running of the show. So the next thing that we're going to do is pass you over to the one and the only Mr. Trader R.
What's up, folks? It's Trader R. Thanks, Shane. So yeah, we're going to be looking at XRP today, and it's time for some bit of proper TA, I suppose. No offense, Shane. I'm sure you have lovely TA. We all have lovely TA, but yeah, I'm picking XRP because it has nice. If you looked at all the altcoins during the weekend, right, they're all down. XRP is the only one that had a little bit of life in it, you know, and it's holding its ground. It's holding well. It looks like it's in some kind of triangle. We could draw it out. She's holding her ground fairly well. Nice little triangle there, kind of faked out a little bit there a bit, which is good. You know, that's kind of thing you'd be looking for. Little fake out and reclaim the triangle. That's where you want to be looking for along. But yeah, it just kind of tells you in Elliott wave kind of terms. Yeah, you might be in your wave 1, whatever your wave 1 will be, and then your 2, 3, and then potentially into your 4, into the 5, and potentially come back down. So I kind of want to see what will happen if there is anything above us and what we can do. You do have this, which is what I always say is, like, if you can consolidate before a TR pocket, it's just one of the things to look out for. They're the best trades. So we have a big TR pocket above the highs. And again, we're in a triangle. What happens in a triangle all the time? Triangles usually, yeah, you could have some that overextend, they pump and go to the sky, and sky's your limit. But what happens most of the time, like 70 to 60% of the time, a triangle, they fake out and they come back down, and you run the liquidity of the other side of the triangle. So that being said, what would that kind of look like? You know, we have our little zone here. We have this TR pocket up here. We have the triangle. Potentially looking like she could run the highs and maybe come back down and run the lows. That's the kind of thing I'd be skeptical about on XRP here, to be honest. And do we have pivots? I'm pretty sure we all know about the pivots now at this stage. And if you don't, you might want to look them up and figure out what are the statistics behind them and all this. So you do have quarterly pivots below, underneath the triangle. Do you remember what I said? What happens usually? You run the top side of the triangle, and then you come down, you take the other side of the triangle as liquidity, you know. And coincidentally, the quarterly pivots are sitting underneath that triangle low. And you have yearly pivots that would run the two of them. It would run the two of them. Especially this is what I was kind of thinking about too. It's like, yeah, have you ever known with Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin, if it's going to fall, like if you all know about the fractal I have, if you don't know about the fractal, go onto my Twitter, go onto the Pro Traders on Twitter, they retweeted it. The fractal, right? It kind of shows that we might fall, but I will say on that fractal that it has played out way, like, so all the pivot sides and pivot lows, like, way too much. I've never seen a fractal that played out so much, and now we're on the last leg of it. I feel like it might break, but you know what? It has played out every pivot and has proved me wrong so far. I'm like, oh, geez, I'd be surprised if this one plays out. I'd be surprised if this pivot plays out, and it plays out every single time, and we catch the trade every time. So it's just like, I'm going to be surprised if this one plays out, which is the last one before it falls. So what usually happens with before Bitcoin does fall, this is why I'm kind of thinking that might happen, is an altcoin pumps. One of the volatile altcoin pumps, and then that signifies Bitcoin drops. You know, have you ever noticed like a SHIB, boom, rocket into the sky, Bitcoin next day, boom, on the floor, or ape, boom, into the sky, Bitcoin next day, boom, on the floor. XRP potentially runs the high here, and then maybe Bitcoin ends up on the floor. So again, just easy TA on XRP and a bit of awareness for people to just be careful out there. If you run these highs up here on XRP, and if you lose them, just keep it simple. Run the highs and you lose them, then you could be looking for a move back down to 1.7 to 1.8 on XRP. So again, thanks, and back to you, Dookie, as always. Good work.
I have to unmute myself. Thank you. That was, and there's one of my lights gone. It wouldn't be the first show without something going wrong, would it? So that was Trader R with an XRP setup for your week ahead. Something to look at. That could run into a couple of weeks, but again, we're going to be doing this every single week. We'll be following up on these each week, and we need some suggestions for you. So you let us know in the comment section what alts you want us to have a look at. You let us know what alts are trending, what we should be looking at here. We'll have a look through them during the week, and then on next week's show, we will run through them. So as I said, this one is going to be fairly brief enough because it's the first week. So the next part of the show goes on to, as I said earlier, we have golden indices by me. So anybody that's trading any sort of funded account, anything like that, this is the show for you. I'm going to run through the next couple of trades on that. So there's a strategy I'm using at the minute that is calling each pivot on all future markets, which is a very interesting one. If you want to learn more about that, please do come over to protraderslounge.com, where I will run through that with you. After that, we've got altcoins by Netso. Netso's going to cover 4 altcoins that we're going to look for intra-week swings this week, and then on to the one and the only Mr. When Sailing, Michael, with Bitcoin and our trades for the week ahead. And there's something driving outside the window, and I don't have a clue what the hell it is. Some road sweeper or something like that. So expect loads of bloopers like this for the first couple of weeks with this, guys. And we're just, as I said, going to have fun with it. But to be part of these last sections, you do need to be a member of Pro Traders Lounge. And if you want to do that, just pop over to protraderslounge.com, where we've got something for everybody. Plenty of sessions each week, and plenty of us in there keeping you all entertained for the week throughout your trading. So with that, guys, I'm going to sign off. I hope you enjoy your week. I hope you have a great trading week, and we will love you and leave you. Thank you. Good night.